good evening, everyone. It is Monday, May 12th. It is 7:01 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the Town Council. Will everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The following town council members are present in chambers. Persico, Kohut, Maurer, Lapellis, Formicella, O'Rourke, in Wales. So there are 7 of us. There are 2 that are absent, Reed and Duva. Moving on to item 3, the consent calendar. Is there any objection to passing consent calendar as presented? Hearing none, I'm passing consent calendar as presented. I ask that communication items A through N be incorporated into the minutes of our meeting. And moving on to item 5, public participation. Is there any member of the public that would like to participate this evening? Chambers? Nobody in chambers. Mr. First Selectman, is there anyone online that has indicated that they would like to participate?
No, panelist attendees, nobody attending, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm closing public participation. I'm moving on to appointments this evening. I make a motion to appoint the following members to the CT 250 committee as referred by the First Selectman: Donalyn Wales, Aaron Goldrick, Marita Pavetta, Karen Cardy, Kevin Daly, Raymond Giovanni, Robert Roche. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nina Pellis. Mr. First Selectman, discussion on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Declaration of Independence is approaching its 250th anniversary. Nicole Signoli from the library reached out to me to form a committee, and we formed the committee with a lot of due diligence, a lot of conversations. I believe we put together a very eclectic group of people that are going to add to this operation in a very big way. That being said, I do have a declaration here to read. So whereas the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence is taking place on July 4th, 2026. Whereas the anniversary encourages us to reflect on our role in creation of the nation as individuals, communities, and as a state. Whereas significant efforts are required to properly plan and execute the celebration of this event next year. Whereas dedicated volunteers will organize appropriate events and materials to ensure that their efforts are properly structured. Whereas pursuant to Town Charter, Chapter 4, Section 2, the First Selectman may establish other committees comprised of resident electors. The appointment of members of such committees are subject to the approval of the Town Council. Now, therefore, I, Terrence P. Rooney, First Selectman of the Town of Monroe, hereby establish a CT 250 committee. The committee shall consist of 7 members with full rights of participation pursuant to the Town Charter. All appointments shall be made by the First Selectman and approved by the Town Council. The First Selectman shall be an ex officio member. The committee shall report to the First Selectman. Vacancies on the committee shall be filled in the same manner as prescribed above. Each member's term shall expire on August 1st, 2026. Any member whose term has expired may continue to serve until a replacement has been appointed. The First Selectman may remove and replace any member for cause, including without limitation, continued absence from committee meetings, and the Town Council shall approve any such replacement. Furthermore, the committee shall have the responsibility of the overall planning, organizing, and execution of the CT 250 committee celebratory events. The committee shall be permitted to engage additional volunteers, accept donations subject to Town Council approval, and may seek assistance from other town departments and agencies as approved by the First Selectman. The committee may requisition for the expenditure of funds within the approved current fiscal year budget for the CT 250 committee line within special programs, and from funds donated for committee activities consistent with the town's charter, code, and policies. The committee may also provide recommendations to the First Selectman for funding needs for the CT 250 planned activities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the appointments of the first selectman, which include the 7 previously listed members, to be appointees on the CT 250 committee. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. That's the only appointment we have this evening. Moving on to item 7, our action items. Item A, Town Council Committee on Finance, Education, Health, Public Safety Matters. Madam Vice Chair.
We've not had a meeting in a while.
Thank you very much. Item B, Town Council Committee on Planning, Zoning, Public Works, and Park and Recreation Matters. Councilmember O'Rourke.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we have not met since our last meeting.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item C, Town Council Committee on Legislative and Administrative Matters. We did meet before our town council meeting. All items of new business, specifically with the exception of the donations, reached consensus to come to town council. That is B, C, and D of new business. Additionally, resolutions D and E of our consent calendar were reviewed by the members of LNA at that meeting and received consensus to come to town council. And that's the end of the report. Moving on to item D, Strategic Planning Committee. Recently, had reached out to Karen Carty of the Monroe Historic Society to continue our discussion on the Bearsley property. It's my plan to meet regarding that property before our next town council meeting in 2 weeks. A time will be distributed to our members. I will have to confer with the first selectman as to his schedule and his availability regarding this meeting and any additional discussions we have with the Monroe Historic Society as we continue to get other facts about their current situation and vet potential solutions. Okay. Hearing nothing else. That's it for strategic planning. Moving on to item E, Open Space Preservation and Acquisition Committee, Councilmember O'Rourke.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we have not met since our last meeting.
Thank you very much. And item F, our first selectman's update for Selectman Rooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In operations, our budget was approved. The citizens of Monroe spoke with their vote about the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Many difficult decisions were made with the revaluation affecting residential homeowners, and I believe everyone in the process did a great job getting the information out. In addition to charter requirements, a flyer was sent out notifying townspeople of the vote. Articles were published on local online media outlets, as well as my office sending information out the night before on Constant Contact and the town website. Many officials on town council and board of finance went the extra mile to explain the process. Thank you. As well as the tax assessor taking the time to explain to concerned citizens how this budget and the state mandated revaluation will impact their annual taxes. My door was open and I met with many concerned citizens and fielded numerous phone calls. Although the impact of the revaluation is difficult to accept, as town officials, we know we mitigated the cost as well as possible while still being conscientious of the town's needs. In the end, our people spoke and passed the budget. So thank you for all your help online and other. I know many of you reached out to people and took some of your private time to explain it to them. So it's really appreciated. Emergency services update. Had a brush fire on April 29th. There was a brush fire near Guinea Road and Hattertown Road. Thank you to the Monroe Fire Departments, Monroe Police Department, and additional support from our neighbors at Long Hill Fire Department in Trumbull for moving quickly to what could have been a severe situation. Please observe and respect any open fire restrictions issued by our fire marshal. I just want to give you guys a little quick update. I was here in town hall. I heard a couple of officers go out, police cars, and then a couple ambulances, which was kind of a normal, you get used to what's normal. And then more and more started to go. So obviously I turned on my scanner and there was a fire on Hattertown Road. So I drove over there just to check and the whole side of the hill was on fire. It was probably a little bit more than the length of this room and as high as this ceiling on fire. It was a real dangerous situation. I honestly thought they weren't going to be able to contain it, but they did an amazing job. So hats off to them. That could have been a really, really big deal. And things were very, very dry. So fire service, middle of the day, we still had a good response. So that's great from a volunteer fire department. So very thankful. EMS mass casualty, it says causality. I'm sorry, it's a typo, but thank you to the volunteer fire departments for putting this training on every year. These drills are critical for optimizing operational readiness, streamlining communication protocols, and ensuring precision delivery in time-sensitive scenarios. That was held at Jockey Hollow about a week ago. Capital projects. This should say community center site, but it's St. Jude's. Well, I don't know if we'll ever get away from calling it St. Jude's. We're going to try. I had a discussion with the superintendent, Joe Cobza, and Board of Education Chairman Dave Ferris to offer St. Jude's as a consideration for a solution to our school space needs. As we know, this building was approved through a town meeting as a community center. Therefore, if this building is viable to help the Board of Education with said space needs, this council will have to weigh in on its best direction moving forward. Chalk Hill and the community center site are both town-owned buildings and will need the support of town council once the direction of the ad hoc committee is decided. Animal control, the final touches are being done on the shelter, hoping to have it fully operational shortly. A community update, National Day of Prayer. Many gathered at Town Hall Green for a moment of reflection and prayer on Thursday, May 1st. I was invited to say a few words before the event began. People of many backgrounds joined this peaceful gathering to pray for many different topics, including blessings for the present and the future of Monroe. First grade field trip. All first graders take a field trip to Town Hall. It's always a great learning experience for the students, and they ask some great questions. One student asked me if I was the first selectman, and they stumped me because I didn't know who the first selectman was. I had to look it up. But anyway, always great to interact with our curious little ones. Celebration of reading. Every year, the Monroe Public Schools host a celebration of reading event where celebrity readers come in and read books to every grade level. I was chosen to read to the 5th grade class and read Grace Goes to Washington, which was an interactive book talking about how government works. Fun was had by all, and the students and I were able to take some interactive photos. This is a memorable experience for the students. Thank you to the schools for organizing this event. Monroe Police Fishing Derby. Annually, the police department holds a fishing derby. Many young anglers came out to enjoy Great Hollow Lake for a day of fishing. As I attended, my luck wasn't the best. However, a few children caught fish and had big smiling faces receiving the awards. Thank you to Monroe PD for the consistent community outreach and holding nice events for our kids. Next up, National Police Night Out. An accommodation for Sean Piniella. Sean Piniella is Monroe's newest Eagle Scout. Every Boy Scout dreams of making it to Eagle Scout. However, few achieve the honor. Congratulations to Sean, his parents, and all the people along the way who molded this young man on his journey. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Councilmember Mauer.
just one item of town business that's happening this week that I wanted to make sure all of the council was aware of is the seniors at Massac will be presenting their capstone projects coming up this week. I've been fortunate enough to judge for a couple of years now, and just want to, from the council, wish those presenting the best of luck in their presentations and passing this section of their education of actual interaction out in the real world in various careers and learning about a large variety of different career paths out there.
Thank you very much. All right, that's all we have for action items this evening. Moving on to unfinished business. We have no matters of unfinished business this evening. Moving on to new business. Item A, the acceptance of donations that individually exceed $1,500. I move that the town council accept following donations. $2,709 from Benedict's Home and Garden from David Wang Cutting Board Sales. That's to the Monroe Food Pantry. $2,600 from the D. Filippo family for a memorial bench, and that is directed towards Parks and Recreation. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, I'll give it to Councilmember Mauer. Mr. First Selectman, any discussion on this item?
Just always thank you for the donations. It's the same thing every time. We're very much appreciated. Many of these donations help the organizations in town. I see that Benedict's Home and Garden, David Wang, the Cutting Board Sales, and T. Filippo family for the memorial bench. Thank you, everybody who donates to the town, and your altruism is appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting those donations, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Moving on to item B, resolution 25-060. Madam Vice Chair?
I move the town council adopt resolution 25-060. Resolved that Terrence P. Rooney, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the municipal finance agreement by and between Cannon Financial Services Incorporated and the maintenance agreements by and between Ryan Business System Incorporated and any associated documents for the lease and maintenance of Canon equipment.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Mauer. Mr. First Selectman, discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The town has an existing 5-year agreement with Ryan Business Systems Incorporated and Cannon Financial Services Incorporated for Canon copy equipment and maintenance for both the town and Board of Education. As this agreement will expire, our Director of Technology, Paul Corus, has pursued a renewal agreement. This agreement was reviewed by our town attorney, who provided the attached opinion letter. Paul Corus is actually here tonight if anybody has any questions. I know there weren't any in LNA. However, he is here to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item?
Mr. Chair?
Councilmember Mauer?
Only that there actually was one question, which was whether they were happy with this vendor, and Paul indicated that they're extremely happy. They would like to continue with this vendor, and especially in comparison to our previous vendor, that this has been not only a huge improvement, but just a very pleasurable experience with this company. So they'd like to continue.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting resolution 25-060, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Moving on to item E, resolution 25-061. Madam Vice Chair.
I move the town council adopt resolution 25-061. Resolved that Terrence P. Rooney, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the engagement agreement and any associated documents by and between the Pullman and Comley, the legal services regarding the retirement pension plans.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donald Wins. Mr. First Selectman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attached for your review and consideration is the Pullman and Comley LLC engagement agreement letter for legal services relative to the town's retirement pension plans. Fees and expenses will come out of the town of Monroe retirement income plan. This agreement has been reviewed by our town attorney, who provided an opinion letter. Also, Craig Hirsch is here to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. And other discussion on this item? Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting resolution 25-061, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Moving on to item D, resolution 25-062. Madam Vice Chair.
I move the town council adopt resolution 25-062. Resolved that Terrence P. Rooney, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the proposed acquisition agreement and any associated documents by and between the CTDOT for the property acquisition of 228 Pepper Street.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jason Mauer. Mr. First Selectman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The State of Connecticut Department of Transportation, CTDOT, is proposing to acquire property for the installation revision of rectangular rapid flashing beacons, RRFBs, on municipally owned and maintained roads. The CTDOT has provided a proposed acquisition agreement and an offer amount of $500 to the town for the parcel located at 228 Pepper Street for this purpose. These documents are provided for your review and consideration and are reviewed by our town attorney, who provided the attachment opinion letter. This is for the beacons on Pepper Street for the walking trails. Attached is also the maps. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Other discussion on this item? Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting resolution 25-062, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. There is no second public participation tonight, as there are no matters of unfinished new business nor unfinished business. And I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7:21 p.m.